Yeah, or shows or something. You know what I'm going to give you for this, doing the 200 episode movie review thingy? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do animation. Animation stuff. Oh yeah, heroes and villains and things like that. Most powerful heroes and villains of... most powerful characters, let's say, of anime. Let's say. Now, granted, these is going to be old school anime because really I don't know nothing really much about the newer stuff. So it's going to be old school. Okay, the animation stuff. Now, right away, I'm going to make a special nod to the Macross Saga, which also has Space Cavalry Southern Cross and Space Climber Mesopieta included in it as Robotech. I'm including this because there are heroes and villains that are very powerful in it. There are villains like Zentradi, who are giant 50-foot tall creatures. They're human basically, but they're big. They're very powerful. They can survive out in space for a little period of time. They can have massive battle fleets, that millions of ships allegedly, and can destroy the planets. They're very powerful. They blow up whole planets. They're very powerful. The Zentradi. Let's see. We also have Macross. Space Cavalry Southern Cross. You have the Masters with the Zor, and they are the new generation ones basically. The Southern Cross series of Robotech Macross. And you have them. The Masters are powerful. They have ships and can blow up planets. They don't seem as powerful as the Zentradi, though. They weren't really connected. I know that. Yes, but in the American one they were. So yes. And then we come to the Invit Invasion, or the third series. Not as popular in Japan. The new generation, as they call it here, in which we have the Invit, who are a race of protoplasmic energy beings. And I was thinking about this because we referenced it in a Robotech spoof that we did. And there was a discussion with Mark's Cards about that. It's like, these are actually the most powerful aliens in that time period of animation, if you think about it. They are actually energy beings. And how come, like, the protoculture guns can disperse them? They don't indicate they're EMP weapons until those larger ones show up, the synchro cannons. They can actually disperse the energy. But before that, they shouldn't be able to. They're energy beings. So when they assume physical form, they should be able to turn back into energy and just go right back to the Invid Queen. And then everything's over. The idea of those guys is an influence on the people that made The Matrix, the people that made the Borg in Star Trek, that kind of thing. You know, the cybernetic beings and all that. To an extent, Cameron's Terminator is a little bit kind of on the same wavelength. Although the show kind of is influenced by the ancient 1930s sci-fi film Metropolis as well, which inspired all sci-fi since. So yes, the animation, the protoplasmic beings that eventually gave up just because, we don't know why, the Child of the Shadow shouldn't have scared them. They should have just said, hey. What else? Yeah. That's the Invid. Okay. In Macross. And let's see. Okay. Going to give a nod now to the Transformers, also called Diaclone in Japan, and several other names. The next superhero or villain, what would say in this list? It's not a list of 10 in order. Or even a list of 10. I don't know. It is, but it's a list. The Transformers TV show villains included the Decepticons. Autobots, of course, were powerful. They were robots, big robots. They didn't appear to have major powers until the movie in which they fought Unicron, who was a monster planet that transformed into a giant robot. Now, that's pretty powerful, Unicron. Of course, they defeat him kind of stupid, but, you know, the matrix of leadership is powerful. They explained it in later versions of it. They said, like, okay, the matrix was sort of a MacGuffin device that they would take inside Unicron, and it would mess with him internally somehow. And because the movie didn't really explain it, but we loved the movie, so the original '86 one, even if it didn't make sense, well, a giant planet monster didn't make sense either. But yes, the Quintessons were their creators. They could rebuild them even if they died. But Unicron could destroy planets and was very powerful. So Unicron is one of the big baddies, and he was played by Orson Welles. One of his last performances, Orson Welles. Yes, one of his last things. And Leonard Nimoy was in it. The late Leonard Nimoy and the late Orson Welles. A long time ago when they were still around. Yes, so that's another one. Okay, and the next on my little animation thing. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some powerful anime characters. Okay, Akira. In Akira, there is the Akira group. Not just Akira, who is the super telepath that also can reassemble his body, but also the Akira children creatures that are also equally powerful and are powerful telepaths. They can mess with your mind. They screw you over. You're fucked up, and then they do you in. And also they can move objects and throw them around like X-Men people can and destroy things. And it's just very impressive that they can do all that. Yeah, it makes them incredibly powerful creatures. Akira, I know that there have been some lists where they have not included that movie because it's not an anime series, but in Japan it kind of was, and it was a manga. So I am including it here because Akira is an iconic 80s sort of like powerful force. He does blow up the entire universe at the end. I mean, that's ridiculously powerful. He's a Celestial, like X-Men. The Celestials from X-Men are probably inspired of, or on the same wavelength. Actually, I think maybe Akira was inspired of the Celestials. Actually, it's the other way around. Because X-Men was out in the 60s and 70s, so yeah, before that. So yes, other way around. So I'm going to now make a special nod to, even though it's not anime, it's animation, the X-Men series. The X-Men, Marvel in general, just because it's Marvel. Let's do Marvel in general, because, yes, it explores that. And I'm going to say that, okay, in the Marvel universe, you have aliens. The Marvel universe, you have aliens that are fully capable of doing major damage. You have the Celestials. You have the Infinity Gauntlet, which the Celestial can put on, and he can use the Infinity Gauntlet to control the universe, space and time and mind and warps and all that stuff. And the Infinity War, the comic books and all that, some of which was explored in the various cartoon versions, and the upcoming Marvel movies is going to go there with Infinity War 1 and 2. So they're going to do it too. I don't know how. But yes. Yes, the idea of a celestial godlike proto-god beings being able to do that is just like, okay, that's amazing. You know, they can do that with this glove and other stuff. Power glove. Yes, reference to Nintendo. It's not, but... But yeah, I wanted to throw in the X-Men as an honorable mention, as the villains. As the X-Men themselves are very powerful. Xavier is the most powerful telepath. You have the Dark Phoenix, who is the most powerful meta creature. You have Star-Lord's father and Star-Lord himself. You have various other characters. You have Wolverine, who's healing factor. Something. You have Deadpool. You have a bunch of other characters that can do amazing things that are extremely powerful. But yes, and Thanos and the others are the Celestials. And then there's the Living Tribunal, which is a space god tribunal thing, demigods in the comic book world. Over at DC, equally, you have aliens that are very powerful as well. And have been in movies and things. You have Superman, who's Krypton, that has all kinds of powers and can do things and even stop time in the movies, unverse things and stuff, and not so much in the newer movies. And you have Although kryptonite apparently messes with him, which is kind of a MacGuffin. But yes, but yes, I often wonder what would happen if he's tied to the yellow sun. Then if he went into a really bright young sun, it should make him really powerful. He should be like a demigod at that point. He'd be really energized, if it's solar. But maybe it's not. Yeah. So, I'm back to the animation. Still going on, 200th episode. Yes, we should have. I should probably mention, even though it's cheesy, Power Rangers, just because they've got some celestial type beings. They have a Time Lord. They have other stuff like what's ripped off from Doctor Who, but okay. They have various anime type of characters. Originally, Power Rangers is Super Sentai Saiyans. It's Japanese. Nick and Disney and other versions that have changed it have made it that way. There you go. Power Rangers. The Power Rangers, bad guys. Some of them are powerful and can control time and space and things like that, and act like the Q from Star Trek. Honorable mention to the Q from Star Trek, although he's not been in animated shows. No animated Star Trek TNG yet. But yes, yes, there is. I hear tale that there is apparently going to be a Go Motion animated action figure Star Trek, in which Q is the main villain in it, and also sort of a semi-hero because all other villains in it. I know this from firsthand experience from the producers of that Star Trek thing that's coming out. It's fan film, but. Star Trek Chimera, of course. But yes, doesn't give away too much. But yes, let's see. Yeah, but Star Trek, no, it wouldn't count. Just honorable mention. You can honorable mention the Borg as well, who have control of the galaxy. And then you come over to Star Wars, which also has animation. You can mention that. You can say Star Wars has the evil Empire, and now the First Order. And I'm figuring, like, there's a weird Kevin Smithy connection right there. Kevin Smith connection. Because, like, you figure that after the Empire split up at the end of Jedi, all of those contractor guys that were pissed off the Death Stars got blown up, they all got together. They formed the First Order. That's probably what happened. So, like, Snoke, everybody thinks they know who Snoke is. He's the new bad guy. Then the Vader was the bad guy, and the midichlorians. They didn't mention the midichlorians, incidentally, in the movie. But all this other stuff is like what? Snoke is probably a little creature, actually, in real life. And he's, like, projecting this weird, scary-looking thing because he wants to, like, not reveal who he is. That's my guess. It's not going to be obvious. I don't know. Because they won't even know until they do it. It's not Darth Vader reincarnated or Darth Sidious or anything like that. That's stupid. It's not. It's not even Darth Plagueis necessarily. From what I've gathered from the verbal NDA at the Disneyland, it isn't any of those things. You're not going to be able to guess it from the canon books. Basically, you're not going to be able to guess. That's all they said. It's not. And I said, you guys don't know. They're all like, kind of don't. Don't tell anybody. They don't know, so they have no idea what the next director is going to do. It's the guy that did Looper doing that. So yes, Star Wars. Yes, the alien's powerful. This is becoming more of a list of super baddies in general, I guess. The Terminator's not that badass. He just has time travel. He can kick butt. But, yeah, so he's there, but he's not a celestial. You figure they can do that kind of stuff. I mean, there's even One Punch from that obscure animation show. It's like, or Transor Z from the other one. Or how about we have Ultron and Ultraman and all that stuff from Marvel. And there was a thing called Ultraman. Now, Ultraman was a Japanese version, kind of, in the same time period as Iron Man. So he's kind of similar. So he's got similar powers. But Ultraman can make himself larger, which is like Ant-Man, kind of, but in reverse, he can make himself bigger. And Ultron can fight Godzilla, other stuff like that. So yes, so yeah, Ultraman is very powerful. He can assume larger size and fire ray beams and things like that. Ultraman would be included as a sort of hero powerful hero. Fist of the North Star would be in there as a powerful sort of hero guy. Maybe to an extent, the guy in what's Cowboy Bebop from the 90s. Maybe he would be there too. Somewhere around there. Also, which makes me think of Firefly and River Tem, who is essentially a mutant, who has mental powers, but it keeps regenerating and making her like a super fast, butt-kicking female soldier. Yes, she has powers too. Yes. But she cannot change the universe. Not like Jean Grey and Dark Phoenix. She's a mutant, basically. Actually, Teenage Warhead from Deadpool, they changed her powers. They made her Negasonic Teenage Warhead. They made her actually explode her powers out, but the original Negasonic Teenage Warhead could not do that. She had Xavier's powers, but she could like give you a headache. She could mess with your brain. So it was Warhead, literally, not nuclear warhead. But they took her literally. Yes, they changed that. Yeah. I suppose they had to. There's some DC villains. Actually, it's DC villains that were against Superman in the alternate Darkseid timeline. They were actually quite powerful, and they could control the universe too. So yeah, they were powerful. Mxyzptlk was powerful, even though in the cartoon he's kind of silly, the early one. Yeah, so they had some guys with powers in DC. Well, the alien from Spider-Man who could turn himself into Venom, that alien, he was powerful. Yes, so him too. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Further. Let's see, yeah, but were they like Celestials or something? Q or something. Let's see, there's got to be something else, isn't there? I'm trying to think of some other manga, like badasses and stuff. There was an obscure comic called 2001 Nights that had a universe expanding sort of negative universe, negative energy. Well, it's supposed to be antimatter, which didn't make sense, but it was a negative energy sort of like realm that was kind of cool. Yes, I suppose the machines in the Matrix would technically be an advanced, super advanced being capable of messing with stuff. Which then begs the question, if they could do all that, why which begs the question, if they could do all that, why harvest humans? Why not just use that technology to build a new planet and have your own people on it? That's why I didn't think that. But yes, they could do all that. How about, it's not manga, but how about the monolith aliens in 2001: A Space Odyssey and the book series? And I think there was a comic book, graphic novel, the monolith aliens. And then, yes, I know there's some basic aliens in Adam Brown books, but Mayer Brown books, but we can't include them because, except for maybe the first one with the Letamok and aliens, and the ones that built those planet ships, they're powerful. But yeah, yes, there's different. In brief, there's like in physics and in science fiction, there is a ratings of types of civilization. And in very, very brief, we're a type 0 civilization. We have not expended the resources of our world. We have not taken in the resources of our world. Once we do that, we become a type 1 civilization where we control the weather and we can do anything we want with the planet. We can go elsewhere off the planet. We can do stuff out in space. We control resources of the solar system and can do whatever we want. There are various levels of that. Then you get to type 2, in which you have control of the solar system, the whole solar system, and the ability to move beyond that solar system. You have FTL drive. You have like the Federation and Star Trek, or the Klingons, or even to an extent the Star Wars universe. You have the ability to have space colonies and planets, and you are no longer beholden to your solar system. Go elsewhere. You can control the power of your own star. You can like make a Dyson sphere around the star, do stuff. Type 2 has many levels, all the way up to the Borg, and then all the way up beyond that to Q. Type 3, you're essentially a demigod. You not only control the galaxy at the end of Type 2 and have countless planets, millions of them, you can control space and time. You are a demigod. You have the ability to create a universe toward the end of that, almost to create it, almost you're a demigod. If there is such a thing as a Type 4, you would not only be able to have the power of that universe and time and space, you would be able to create new ones. You would essentially be a god, which would be really pretentious. But yes, so that's the basic nutshell thing of that. The types of civilization. Actually, they were thought of by a Russian named Kardachev. And Karda with a K, which was a coincidence, the Karda, from the science fiction story they used to do, was originally with a C, and it was Karda for cardboard, but when I stuck a K on it, it became short for the Russian guy, Kardachev, with Laws of Civilization, which, it being science fiction fantasy, kind of makes sense. And I've lost the accent, but you know, it's me. But still, yes. So there's the Laws of Civilization.